This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here today. So we're going to take you through a bunch of material, a lot of it new, and then some of it old to reference where we're going here for the theme today. And the theme today is the countdown is on. I can't see it any other way. And I'm going to tell you, it's just exciting to me. And look, you guys know I've been positive in this space from day one, and I have not wavered, and I do not waver today at 25 cents. Let's go ahead and do the numbers. They're brought to you by Unstoppable Domains, guys. I use them. I love them, and so do a lot of you. Link in the description box for so many things, including Unstoppable Domains. Make sure you check those out. Bitcoin this morning is $10,980. A bargain at these prices, some people would say. Ethereum, $386.06, and XRP is 25 cents. Drilling down on the XRP numbers this morning at 0.2532. The market cap is 11.4 billion. It is up, ladies and gentlemen, and the 24-hour is up almost 2% at 1.86%. The 24-hour is at 1.8 billion, and the total circulating supply is now 45 billion, 42 million plus. Those are your numbers. Excuse me, had a cough clear my throat there. Okay, so getting into the news this morning, we start with this from Digital Vestor. VeChain joins Chinese alliance with Walmart, Starbucks, and McDonald's. You know, I love VeChain, and I really love Sonny Liu. The guy's got such a great, charismatic personality and energy. He's very personable and funny, and obviously extremely smart. But, you know, VeChain has been one of those tokens that I have just like for a long time. I've had it for a long time, and I'm very excited about it. So, and shout out to Rob Cash, because Rob Cash was the one that really turned me on to VeChain early on, because Rob has been into VeChain for a long time, as well as XRP. Shout out to you, Rob Cash. Hope you're doing well, my friend. So let's go ahead and keep this moving here. This is from Digital Asset Investor, and I love the way he wrote this, because this is just so true. And we actually covered the idea that Jeff Bezos and some other CEOs were selling a lot of their holdings in their position. Bloomberg notes that during the week ended September 11th, insiders sold $473 million in shares, while only buying $9.5 million of gold, silver, and XRP. Hashtag zero doubt. Yeah, they know trouble's coming, right? That's the bottom line. That's the long and short of it. And guess what? We're going to look at a whole bunch of stuff today that's going to show you what they already know. Let's go ahead and get started. If you haven't ate, you might want to wait, because it'll make your stomach churn. The Federal Reserve, this is from Michael Val 5 Links. Appreciate you, my brother. Federal Reserve left interest rates near zero and signaled it would hold them there through at least 2023 to help the U.S. economy recover from the pandemic. Now, look, this is something I've talked about extensively with the co-host on Friday's show, Cryptopolis, and you know, they are between a rock and a hard place. They're stuck near zero. And, you know, if you go negative, it gets awful hard to come back from that. Well, let me go ahead and take you to that dark area of the room, because, you know, this was an idea that was actually proposed to me by Cody yesterday or the day before. And shout out to you, Cody, at Distributed Mind, Cody SPQR, who is amazing. And he had the idea. It was like, if you could touch on this whole idea of Bank of England doing, considering negative interest rates, because that's exactly what they're considering. Yeah, shout out to you, Cody, and we're going to do it. Shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf. The Bank of England is considering a negative interest rate. Negative interest rates would let banks in the UK charge customers to hold cash. Oh, yeah, you heard that right. Yeah, they won't be paying you. They'll be taking it. The initiative is supposed to encourage spending and improve the economy, so protect yourself with crypto instead. There you go. Now, when we drill down on this, it really is very, very real, ladies and gentlemen. And look, I'm not going to read the whole article to you, but the reality is if you put $100 in the bank and they go negative 3% interest, you got $97. Yeah. This, what's funny is the narrative for negative interest rates is when they try to tell you, well, it's to encourage spending. And it's here somewhere. Whereas the initiative is supposed to encourage spending and improve its economy, because the last place you're incentivized to keep your money is hoarded up at the bank, right? Because they're going to charge you for it. Oh, brother. Yeah, it's for you. We're doing this for you and the children. That's why we're doing it. So, look, the big narrative here that I want to touch on here, look, besides the fact that they're talking about negative interest rates, is one of the things I wanted to, really relay to everybody is that if you don't live anywhere where you're affected by the Bank of England, I hope for a second that you do not believe that you're not affected. Central banks are not siloed islands. They're all connected together. And what one does is going to affect the other one, and the other one, and the other one, and so on and so on. The Fed trying to struggle till 2023 to stay near zero interest rates so they don't go negative. When the reality is the Bank of England's already succumbed to the notion that we need to do it. How is this going to play out going forward? What are the ramifications and other implications to other central banks that all are tied together? And it's important to remember they are not siloed islands. What one does affects another one. So this really becomes quite a heavy conversation. And it really is the realization that the central banking system, not just the Bank of England and banks in England, but it is really a realization that the central banking system is up against a wall and the countdown is on. There's no question. Now, let's take a look at some more information here. Okay, I thought this was interesting from Einstein MC Squared here, so shout out to you. And breaking, the commission has unanimously from the CFTC approved the final rule that will permit derivatives clearing organizations organized outside of the U.S. to be registered with the CFTC. Now, I just shared yesterday, like my second or third video, where there was a PDF from the CFTC from 2018 about updating their entire infrastructure to distributed ledger technology. You don't suppose that could be how they're going to be able to do all of this with this new final approved rule, do you? Settle derivatives from outside of the United States and be registered with the CFTC? I have to believe, and it's a believe, not a no, but I have to believe that it is somehow connected to the new financial infrastructure that everyone is bringing their self to as a new standard. We shall see, but let's keep moving. Remember this when we talked about this? MasterCard launches central bank digital currencies testing platform, enabling central banks to assess and explore national digital currencies. Remember that when we covered that? Well, this goes back to my notion that I was telling you that banks, central banks, are not siloed islands. What one does, they all have to consider, and at least not consider what they've done. They have to consider the impact to themselves of what that bank has done. So when you're talking about negative interest rates or trying to hover near zero for the next several years, it is a real problem for the entire central banking system. And the reality here is what I see is them trying to work with public and private sector here, because that's what's going to bring them out of all of this, is really to work with the public and private sector to develop new solutions for the new financial system and the new financial market infrastructure, which Ripple has been a part of building here, to be able to create a solution that can take them out of these dark notions and ideas and situations that we are currently in. So let's keep moving. And here we have from Michael Val 5 Links, new multi-currency WireX card will allow users to seamlessly spend their crypto and fiat holdings during daily purchases to encourage the daily use of cryptocurrencies and payments. WireX is also has a unique crypto-backed rewards program. That's pretty awesome. Now, this just shows to me more further development of being able to integrate the ability for you to be able to spend your crypto on a card just like you would your regular funds. This to me is further development to get into a new financial market infrastructure and allow crypto to be a part of the monetary system of the world, which means that the entire monetary system is about to change. All right. Let's go ahead and look at this one. Remember that time that the person from American Express said global digital currencies are already here, developed by the private sector? Central banks are responding to the challenge of private sector digital currencies by accelerating the pace at which the international payments go real time and by looking into creating their own digital currencies. It may be that in time, one digital currency will emerge to become the new world reserve currency. Alternatively, perhaps the future might be in a network of equal currencies of highly liquid international payments world. And look, I think it's a bit of both. And this is American Express, right? This is not a retail investor or a speculator in this market that started a YouTube channel. This is American Express. The writing is on the wall, right? That's what's going on here. So, all right, coming back to this, let's keep that going. And I know I covered that the other day, but I want to show this stuff because it's significant. We covered this when it came out. Shout out to DJ Peter Vass. Last month's news, but listen, tie this in with what we're seeing from the Bank of England and the Fed trying to hover near zero. Swiss banks giant unite Ripple and SWIFT on one platform. The payment solution company IBIS Management Associates added connections to RippleNet through Swiss Route Cloud Service. We covered this last month when it came out, but think of it with the news that we have today. What is it starting to look like to you? Because I could tell you what it's looking like to me. It looked like it's a countdown to a new system, to a new option, is what it looks like to me. Very much so. Let's keep going. And then we had the former executive director of Dutch Central Bank calls for Netherlands and Germany to prepare for a new Euro and EU reset. I call for citizens to prepare for a different monetary system. Now, I reported on this a couple days ago, and that tickles me because now we see the article come out just after that that says banks in England and Bank of England would charge those for lending money with negative interest rates. And we just covered that a couple days before that article came out. This guy knows something. And he knows trouble's here and trouble's coming. And there's a countdown on to a new financial system and a new financial market infrastructure. I want you guys to know that I firmly believe there is a big reason that you see countries and central banks like Thailand leveraging blockchain tech to issue bonds. I want to remind you that ARCA, I think it is, ARCA, is absolutely tokenizing U.S. Treasury bills, and they are licensed to do so by the SEC, and it's on the Ethereum network. And I think all of this goes hand in hand when you think about Ethereum, the Flare network, the XRP ledger. All of these, I believe, will graduate to become standard protocols of the new Internet of Value. I really do believe that. And I think you have to understand that the bond market is the backbone to any monetary system. And if you see the tokenization of bonds and going on a blockchain with these bonds, it is nothing but good news all the way around. And we know that it's happening in the U.S. already. Okay, coming here, this was again the multi-currency wallet. I just wanted everybody to be aware that I think that when you see motions like this, it's really the integration into that new system. It's MasterCard, WireX, MasterCard working with the central banks, right? Okay, then coming here, Ripple partner, BRD partner with Cipher Trace and Chainalysis Chainalysis, by the way, adopted the XRP ledger as a part of its analytics product. Don't believe it. It's still true. BRD, Adam Trademan, really heavily involved with Ripple and SBI. And I mean, it's so many things. It's like BRD, Adam Trademan, they're all sitting at the big table at Thanksgiving, right? It's not a kid's table thing. And we're seeing that to boost the bank's banking enterprise solution, BRD's new partnership will allow Blockset Headquarter HQ to provide banks and financial institutions with custody solutions that have high-level market readiness. Really? They need that high-level market readiness because they're about to use it like you've never seen. That's how I'm seeing that one. Okay. And then finally here, maybe, just maybe, we were right all along about MoneyGram. It was a litmus test. It was a litmus test to show the world, just like when I talked with David Schwartz when we were at Swell in Singapore. Shout out to David and everybody at Ripple for all they do. It was all about showing the regulators and everyone else, the banking world, the financial institutions, the SMEs, all of those different particular parties and entities that can bring utility to the network, that this works and it's scalable, and letting the regulators have a real-time look at exactly what was going on and how it actually could work, and give them a way to analyze it from every different angle they need to make sure that they understand it. So one, not only do you not over-regulate, but you don't miss something that does need to be regulated, right? You don't want to have a backdoor for any nefarious activity or error in any way in a new system. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. In reminder of all of this, I remind you to keep your eye on SWIFT, who is now talking about developing a new system and infrastructure that will work even faster than what their messaging platform is. And that the reminder of that is that Ripple was brought onto the ISO 2022 Standards Body Committee to implement and develop distributed ledger technology for that entire committee. They are the only member on that committee that is doing so, and that is connected directly to SWIFT. So to me, in my mind, I'll leave you with this. I think of things like RippleNet, Ripple, and I think of PolySign, Standard Trust. And what I see, if I use Brad Garlinghouse's words, Ripple is a blockchain infrastructure company, which tells me that they develop things for the new infrastructure of blockchain. That's what they do. And I believe what they've done is develop RippleNet, which quite possibly will become the new digital settlement cloud service settlement arm for SWIFT. And I believe quite possibly that David Schwartz and Arthur Brito developed PolySign, which could potentially become the new DTC clearing settlement and custody solution for DTC. Who knows? I could be wrong about all of this, but it's just what it looks like to me. And what really brings me to that idea and that understanding is that Brad Garlinghouse now refers to Ripple as a blockchain infrastructure company. And if you look at what they do, they're constantly, and they tell us to our face, they tell us directly, we have spent all these years developing these things to connect them with the right proper market infrastructure that they will need to function in a new blockchain crypto world. The new Internet of Value. It just seems to really align. So today, that's where I am. Let's keep having a conversation about it, guys and girls. Let's hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below, and make sure you share this with somebody you know. I'll catch all of you on the next one.